What's up, YouTube? Like and subscribe to my videos. Cool Craig 73. Help me grow my little channel and just listen to what I have to say. Everything I say is just my opinion based on life experiences and things I've been through and things I've noticed over the years. And I just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my videos short because most people lose interest in what you have to say after 3 minutes. So I try to keep my videos no longer than 3 to 10 minutes at the longest. I try to say what I had to say. But anyway, I'm gonna make this real quick video. This message is for y'all black gals who date white women, mostly. When you a black man and you are dating a white woman, and don't disrespect because I like white women too. I love all women. I have my share of white women, but you really have to be careful about putting your life in danger. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking back on some experiences I had where I could have got killed by dealing with white women, and it was an incident where I had met this girl online and she was fine as hell, fine as a white girl. And she had the body, you know what I'm saying? She was cute, and she seen my pictures online. She was like, "Damn, you look good." She was like, "I want to get with you," and she was just straight out right, like she was letting me know, like I want to fuck. You know what I mean? Like she was just a freaky ass white girl, and after the second day we knew each other, she was sending me pictures, naked pictures. I was sending her naked pictures. And she was like, we could get together um, soon. Like, what day you off? I'm like, I'm off tomorrow. She was like, you can come to my house tomorrow. So I had only known this girl for maybe no longer than 2 or 3 days. And she invited me to her house. And when I got, before I went, I was really nervous. I was like, shit, am I putting my life in danger? Is this a setup? But, you know, uh, I prayed. I was like, God, I'm not gonna lie, I'm horny. I'm a man. I want some ass. But I was still praying. Like they say, anything you do, you should bring God into it. Even if you're doing something wrong, at least pray about it. So I prayed, like, God, I know this might not be right, but that male sex drive is a motherfucker. When you want something, you're gonna do whatever. And I was stupid. But I went over her house. I said, I'm going to go over there. If the vibe ain't right, I'm leaving. So when I got there, everything was cool. You know what I'm saying? We did everything we said we wanted to do. We had fun. And I walked out of there, no problems. But anything could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, somebody could have walked in while we were doing what we were doing. She could have yelled, rape a black man with a white woman. That could have went ugly for me really quick. You know what I'm saying? So I just thank God that was a good night. But would I recommend ever doing that again? No. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have told that girl to meet me in the hotel. Uh, that probably would have been a little bit better. But I was thinking like, damn, what am I gonna say if she come in and cry rape? But I had all the X-rated text messages and all this stuff for proof. But that shit still probably wouldn't have did no good. And I had another incident some years ago where I met this girl. It was a white girl. She lived in Pennsylvania. And me and her were corresponding online and through phone calls. And she was like, you should come out here and see me. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to get busy. And I was like, shit, I live in Ohio, and Pennsylvania was like, where she lived was like 4 hours away. And I was like, okay, shit, I'll come out there. And on the picture, she looked good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm driving out to Pennsylvania, and I'm thinking like, what's gonna happen when I get out here? So anyway, I went out there. She lived like in the mountains, and she lived in this raggedy old building. It was like I don't know. It was different. It was like a different type of apartment that I'm not used to seeing. But anyway, I went up there and she had her two sons with her. And okay, before that, let me back up a little bit. When I first went into the building, one of her sons greeted me, and this guy was big. He was bigger than me, probably. And he was like, "You here to see my mom?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh yeah, come on in." So I'm going in the house in the building. The place was kind of dirty. It was kind of junky and shit, and it was not a clean place. So I'm walking up there. He was like, "You kind of smaller than what I imagined." He said, "I imagine," because he knew I was a truck driver. He was like, "I imagine truck drivers to be bigger." And I was like, "Yeah, I work it. I keep in shape or whatever." And then he took me to where his mom. And when I walked into the building, I think it was like a cat running around. It was just funky ass smell in the air, like she was in there cooking pork chops and shit or whatever. So I went into the place, the kitchen where she was sitting, and she was sitting down and she looked at me, she started smiling. And she did not look as good as she did on the pictures, what I seen her online. And she was smiling and she was big. She like her teeth, some of her teeth was missing and shit. And I was like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? So anyway, she's smiling. She all happy to see me for the first time. And she had another son that was there too. So she got like these two grown ass sons. And everybody here is white as snow. And I'm the only black guy. And they just looking at me, they talking. Just like they interviewing me. And so I wanted, everywhere. She was like, let's go in another room and talk. So we went into another room and her two sons went in there too. And I was like, damn, I wish these motherfuckers would leave. I just want to talk to her. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's go in another room. I was like, can we go in another room and talk? I was trying to say, can me and you go somewhere and be private? But she was like, yeah, we could go in another room. So we went into another room and her two grown ass sons went with us. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers. So, they was joking around with me. They was like, yeah, let's get them down. Let's just tie them up. They was just fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? They was acting silly, but it could have been serious. They could have been on some serious shit. They was talking about doing harm, but they was just joking. You know what I'm saying? But it could have was serious. So I was like, these guys just joking. But anyway, I was like, can me and you just go somewhere and just talk? And she was like, why you want to talk to me in private? You can't say it in front of my sons. And, she was on that type of tip. And then she was like, won't you just spend the night here? And I was like, nah. I was like, I feel more comfortable if we got a hotel. I really wanted to say, I don't want to spend the night in this raggedy, junky motherfucker. That's what I really wanted to say. But I was like, nah, I just feel more comfortable if we just got a room. I wanted to go somewhere nice and clean or whatever. And she argued with me back and forth. But we ended up getting a room and everything went okay. But still, the bottom line of the story is I could have put myself in danger. You know what I'm saying? And I have other experiences that I'm gonna talk about. If this video hit pretty good, then I'll make a part two to this video because I have other incidences. But anyway, just be careful when you a black man and you dealing with white women, especially when you meet them online, because you hear so many horror stories about how things go left. I'm just lucky and blessed that nothing ever happened to me. All right, just your boy Cool Craig, and I'm out. Peace.